Good evening, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. And a big thank you to the 19,031 subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It's completely free. And to the knob that says, it's no free, is it? You need to pay $4.99 a month. That's for channel membership. Rant over. Ta-da! Anyway, good evening to everyone and all the Celtic fans all around the world. There's a big, massive game this weekend, and it is massive. It is completely massive. We play St Johnstone. And it's always the case when a team gets a new manager that they get a bounce back. And Celtic need to be aware of that. Because let's face it, last weekend we weren't at it. We weren't that good at the first half. But was that down to all the changes that was made in the team? Yes, Brendan Rodgers did allude to the fact that it was, and he took full responsibility for the debacle that was the game last weekend. But looking into the game this weekend, we're going to listen into the one and only Callum McGregor. I need to just do a sound check first of all. We're going to listen to Callum Mac and what he said at the press conference. But first of all, let me just jump into this. Let's check. I just want to jump in, as I always do on this channel. We jump into the comment section and see who is online, because it's the One Celtic Fans View, and I do try to give as many of your views over as possible. And just remember, as Celtic fans, we have won this one time, yes, the big cup. We've won this one 54 times. We've won this one here. We've won that one 42 times. And we've won that one 21 times. Just a friendly reminder to any zombie that might be tuning in early just to see what the hell that these Tim Fenian fuckers are thinking. Anyway, who cares about them? Who cares what the animals say? And all of that. Let's jump into the comment section. First up was the living legend that is Stephen Johnston. Yes, the living legend that is Stephen Johnston. I hope you're good, Stephen. Yes, he is all good. Yes, he's all good. That's even better. Peter King was in the house. Stephen Johnston's photo compresses button. Photo compresses this button. Right, so everything down. I don't know if it breaks down everything. You know. Oh, interesting. Kieran's in from Donegal. Kieran's asking Stephen Johnson is okay. And Michael Ross is in the house this evening, saying Hail Hail Champions. And Joseph Davison was up next. Kaiser is in the house. Kaiser's early tonight. He's not watching some other channel. He's in the house this evening. Tamak's in the house, saying hello to Michael and Stephen. Thomas, Celtic will beat St Johnstone. Well, we'll talk about that in just a little minute. It is only Wednesday night. Thursday night is the big night that we do the predictions on the channel. But we'll talk about St Johnstone, and we'll talk about their manager situation also, because there has been a development this evening. John Cullen's in the house, and also, but the Loving Cup. Spacey's in the house. It says hail hail to Baz and Stephen Johnson and all the troops from a cold but dry north. I don't want to tell you what the temperature was today. You might just fucking hate me. It was 30 degrees today again. Boiling. Yeah, what's your name? It's Boiling. That's your name. Stephen, Mr. Quinn's in the house, saying hey to Stephen, and Shirley is in the house also. Jamie Brown is in the house. Lammers playing against Man United. Who cares? Is Man United playing tonight? Bobo Glenn there. There's Arsenal event in front against Bolton. Girona. Oh, it's the 3 minutes into the Man United game. Oh, there's that Leicester Cup in Europe, isn't there? The Europa. We'll all be watching that tomorrow because we know who's playing. And we'll be ready for a meltdown. Will there be a meltdown video coming tomorrow night? If I can hope so. I need to get the views up on that channel. Anyway, Nick Gold is in the house saying hail hail. One of the boys, Michael Ross, heard someone call them Saint Jobby. Oh, talking about jobbies. And I know that we're not meant to talk about politics on this channel, but have you seen the video of Keir Starmer talking about free the sausage? Hostages. Free the sausage. That's going down onto the Meltdown channel. Him going, free the sausages. Free the sausages. Hostages. What the fuck? This cunt's in fucking charge of the UK and he's shouting, free the sausages. What the fucking Jesus Christ, man. The man in the red Tory that's Keir Starmer shouts, free the sausages. And then he goes, hostages. Fuck me. Up the Gaza, fucking free Palestine, and get it up, you any cunt that thinks anything less. Anyway, that's Sausage Gate, Tarmac. I will free the sausage. Kaiser. Peter King says, Baz, can you wish my son happy birthday tonight? He's working away from home. Peter King, what is your son's name? Because I can't just say happy birthday to Peter King's son. I'm going to start charging for that. What was that guy that used to be on... what was it, that programme that used to be on that Simon Cowell did? And then he ended up doing that video, was it? Anyway, send the king's fingers. What's the rumour, lads? I've just tuned in. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Hail, hail, the Malmo. Yes. James Dobson, free the Lorne. I want to know if it was a square sausage. Was it a pork sausage? Was it a Cumberland sausage? I mean, what was on Keir Starmer's mind? He's obviously standing up there and he's like, fucking, I'm reading this passion. I just want a fucking rolling sausage. Free the sausages! Hostages! Fuck! Chill Pill, Kaiser, Neil Kelly says, moan the Lord sausage. Right, and where is that? What's the rumour, lads? And I'm trying to find... Peter King. Yes, Peter King. Tell me your son's name so I could wish him happy birthday. Brian! Right, happy birthday, Brian, Peter's son. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day working away from home on your birthday. Don't do it, man. I take a week off. My missus thinks I'm completely nuts. Me and my brother, since we were teenagers, since we started our working life back in a long time ago, me and my brother both take the week off of our birthday. And is that weird? Because my missus thinks it's weird. I do nothing the week of my birthday. I'm fucking radio silent. I'm not doing any work. I'll do YouTube because that's not really classed as work, according to the missus. But I think it's weird that people work on their birthday. But Brian, big up the men who do work on their birthday. It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, hail, hail, Malmo, says Mr. Quinn. Free the lawn. Tiddy Riddy Starmer. Free the Richmond date. Free the Halls 11. Free the Halls 11 and free the Richmond date. They were all part of the Ra. Free the sausage and haggis. Oh God, what have I started? Mr. John is in the house. So that was Kev off work. Lol. Exactly. That's why Kev is off work. It's his birthday week. John, we take the week off of our birthday every year. It's always been done. We never work our birthday. And all our family think is weird. Because it's just me and Kev both do it. We've done it since... I can remember when we used to walk to work together as teenagers. We used to walk down to Southfield Industrial Estate for Macedonia. And I think we started it then. It's like, fuck that, man. It's fucking fuck working the week of your birthday, man. Fuck that shit. But yeah, that's why he does it. Evening Baz and all the Celtic family says, George, Kaiser say free the Halls 11 and the Richmond 8. I said that, Kaiser. You're just repeating me. Max pissing himself laughing. Hope Lennon's Fund is doing well. We'll talk about that towards. And thank you to everyone. I know that there's been a massive response of people from this channel wanting to donate later when they get paid at the end of the month, and that's fine because the actual event, them being in Spain and doing the walk, isn't until the 12th. I think it is 12th to the 20th, if I remind myself correctly. But the amount that has been paid to the fund just now, I just click on his given page, is a fantastic 7,418. There's been 94 supporters have given to it, an absolutely fantastic amount, and I am going to keep pushing this until, because I think it's strange that, it's not strange, but supporters in their masses will give to the Green Brigade and to the Tifo. And see, when it comes to anything with the Celtic charity stuff, they just don't get the same response, I think. And it's all fine, the foundation and the stuff doing bucket collections and things, but when it comes to the online, people are a bit more reluctant because, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. And I think that the video did, I'll be honest, shite. It did shit. Because I just think it was the subject. It was the title and the subject. And it didn't get the wider fan base. And that disappoints me sometimes as a YouTuber. Because I'm not doing this to have a fake journalistic career or be a presenter on a fucking talk show or push like that. This YouTube is something that I enjoy, and it's something that I've done for a long time, and it's something that I will do when all these fucking would-be's and has-beens that are only doing it to try and further their career, their paid career. Because remember, there's a lot of paid journalists on YouTube. I think when I do a video like that and it only gets just under 3,000 views, it's disappointing. To quote a term by the one and only Tavernier, and I'm serious about it. I think it's disappointing that people don't want to click on that title to find out what it's about and what our ex-manager's doing, and I think it's an excellent thing that he's doing, and I'm going to keep on pushing it as much as I can, because I want to try and get him to that 10 grand. I know that he only wanted to get $1,000 up on it. His target was $1,000, and listen, he's sitting at 7,418. That's a fantastic amount on its own, but there's only been 94 people, and the Green Brigade get hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people donating for them to collect 30 grand for tifos and stuff. And I just sometimes think that our support, and especially the ones that fucking shout free fucking Palestine and all the rest of it, I think that they should be the first ones that are jumping into their pocket and going, do you know what? The Celtic Foundation does fucking fantastic things at home. It does absolutely fantastic things at home. The Celtic Foundation is it's a fabulous. They provide needs of people and adults within the community that never get big news stories. Do you know what I mean? And they never get fucking big viewing videos or publications or anything like that. You know, there's a lot of good work that goes on, and you get it once a year when the Celtic players go into the hospital, when they hand out teddies, and you know that's the big item things. But shit like this, when it's just people doing their utmost to try and raise money for charity, that Celtic were all about. Sometimes I think that the wider fan base, they just ignore this kind of thing because they're like, do you know what? It doesn't affect me. Tifos affect me. I'll pay for that. Tifos, it looks good for the club. It looks good on telly. And that's just my own personal views. The fact that Neil Lennon's made £7,117 and 9 pence so far, he has also got £1,765 and 25 pence in gift aid, which is fantastic. Will go to a long way. But personally, I want to try and get Neil up to the 10 grand, because I think that'll be a 10 grand for 100. I mean, even if he was to get a euro, a pound for every kilometre he'd walked, he's doing 116 kilometres. Do you know what I mean? I know it's only around about 70 miles or something, but it's still over 5 days. It's still a fantastic journey that he's going to go on. And I just think that, personally, I think that kind of thing needs a bit more. Do you know, it needs a bit more. And when you've got 3,000 folks standing in the North Curve and they'll all shout free, free Palestine, which I'm all for, do not doubt that in any way, but if they were to stand and go fucking put up a display for the Celtic Foundation, do you know what I mean? It would probably get fucking... Anyway. What's the cause? Lenny's raising money for Baz. It is the Celtic Foundation. The Celtic Foundation just raises money for that. It raises money for the most publicised one over the last few years would be young Jamie Tierney. Young Jamie Tierney, whose granddad, and I've met young Jamie, I've met his dad, and Stevie, his granddad, is a good mate of mine, drinks down at Paddy's Point. And I met young Jamie Tierney, but there was another channel that decided to do a complete weekender charity raising weekender to try and raise money for wee Jamie. It's things like that. Kids that have got illnesses that cannot be cured by the NHS service and that need to go to America to get treatment, and they help pay for that treatment. You know, there's lots of different things. Look into the Celtic Foundation. Take time out your day over the next day or so to just look into the Celtic Foundation and the good work that they do, and you'll probably be surprised, because it is a side of Celtic that gets people coming on the pitch, and they get the round of applause by everybody. Oh yes, these folk went to fucking Kenya. They went to Kenya and fucking spent fucking 2 weeks in Kenya and did good things in the name of Celtic and handed out strips and built huts and schools and fucking shit like that. And they'll get the fucking praise at half time at Celtic Park. And then that's about it. And I think it needs more than that. And I think it needs more than that. And I'm going to tell you why I think it needs more than that. Because see if the fans that moan, See the fans that moan about the narrative of the Green Brigade and frightened about Free Palestine, the Palestine flags. Well, why don't you get a fucking Celtic Foundation flag and a big banner saying charity starts at home? Do that. Don't knock the Green Brigade for trying to fight for a cause when there's a cause that's sitting in the palm of your hand and it's called the Celtic Foundation, but you refuse to fucking bat an eyelid for it or fucking dip your fucking phone, get your phone out and just go, do you know what? There's a $5 to the Celtic Foundation, because it's not publicised enough. We don't know what they're doing. The money might be going into Celtic. Fuck off, it's not. I know it's a tough time for people out there, but the Green Brigade can raise 30 grand just like that. I'm just saying. And you probably spend more than fucking McDonald's in this day and age. Do you know, just miss out on one McDonald's, one KFC, one Frippo fucking latte coffee at fucking Costa Coffee that costs you a fucking mortgage, and just give to the Celtic Foundation. I'm going to get right onto this. I'm going to make this a thing. I am going to make this a thing. Anyway, love the Tifos, but I donate money to the needy. Where do you donate? It says Ben. Right, Ben, I'll get the link back up. Lots of people did donate from the channel last night. Big shout out to Lorna Gallagher, who donated £50. This is the link. I'll put it in there, and then I'll put it at the top. Pin the message. John says, you not got the fame for the armband yet? No, I've not. I thought it suited you this morning with the hoops on. It did that, John. It did, and it felt weird putting it on because it was the same top that Lenny wore. And I tried to get another one, but it's that old, the top that the Carlin had split. Carlin were the worst strips, and it was the Carlin bit had split, so I was like, I can't wear that top. But yeah, I've not got a frame for it yet. I'll be doing that tomorrow, because I'm going to the Chino tomorrow to get some other stuff. Lenny just lost his mum also, and I'm supporting his cause, bro. And he has just, and people forget about that. Do you know, he's probably got a lot of mental demons going on himself, as you do when you lose a parent. So that's one good reason to back Lenny. Mr. Quinn says, Lennon is doing one hell of a walk. It is that. And dancing for money. Guys, there's dancing for money. Michael Ross says he loves the Tiffos. I donate my money to the needy. Chill pills on just a bottle of wine. One bottle of wine. Let's do it, Baz. Yep. Big Lenny up to 7k now. He's over 7k. I want to get him to the 10k. Well said, Baz. I'm proud to sponsor Palestine. I'm proud to sponsor them too. Listen, this channel took a massive dive when I supported them a year ago. A massive dive. And people called me out for everything. And it was a hard month, November. It was a hard month, and I didn't think that the channel was going to recover, to be perfectly honest. I didn't think the channel was going to recover after the nonsense in the October and November. And it was hard work. It was hard work, and it was demoralising. It was demoralising seeing people unsubscribe to the channel because of my thoughts on Palestine. And my thoughts on Palestine have been the same for many a year. I'm not one of these trendy fuckers that just jump on the cause. Do you know what I mean? I've had these thoughts for years, but it was a hard time. And I would always like to think that I'd like to stand on the right side of history. The right side of history when my time comes. Anyway, we move on. Sorry I'm late. 7-year-old granddaughter's coming in to stay for a few days. Oh, God. Jim, I pray for you just now. Stephen Johnson's in the house. Going to live over a second debt. Hail, Stephen Johnson. Hope you're doing good, big guy. Right, let's get on to some Celtic news because we've been rambling on for 20 minutes. And how did that go? I want to listen to the one and only Callum McGregor interview because Callum McGregor dispelled some myths at the news conference today, talking about what really happened when he stepped in to see who was penalty taker. But first of all, he was talking about the women's football team and the chance that they have tomorrow evening to go into the Women's Champions League.
Chatting outside actually, and
what really
full of confidence, ready to go into the game. Obviously 1-0 up from the first leg.
But first of all,
and yeah, it's grown and grown. The level has get better every year. Obviously that accumulated in them winning the league for the first time last season, and then they have a huge chance tomorrow night to get to the Champions League as well, which I know they're all delighted and looking forward for the chance at that as well. So here's hoping they can go and do it.
And what would it mean to the club generally if they were able to go on and do it? How would it affect the feel-good factor that's around you at the minute?
Yeah, well, that's it. It continues to add to it. I think the one thing with Celtic is everyone who's here, the expectation is to be playing elite level football and being in the elite level competitions, which of course the Champions League is. So very, very difficult to get there. You play a number of top teams to get yourself in there, and they've done great. So it's now just about trying to make that last step, and I'm sure with the confidence that they've started the season with, then there's no reason why they can't do it. I know they'll know how difficult the game will be, but everybody's got full faith in them to go and do it. And yeah, like you said, that just continues the feel good factor that's at the club.
Callum, you're obviously a seasoned European captain for Celtic. This is like a first for the women's team in terms of trying to go into the group stages. What would your advice be when they're 90 minutes away from it?
Te quiero hacer una pregunta. Estás vendiendo libros en Amazon KDP, pero no estás satisfecho con los resultados?
Yeah, I think, like you said there, it's such a huge opportunity, and I'm sure they'll feel that themselves. And I think in these moments when you trust your teammates and you trust what the manager's asking you to do, of course they had a positive result the other night as well, so they understand where the game's at and where the game's balanced as well. So it's just about trusting each other and going out and delivering in the big moment, and I'm sure they will. Elena's built a really strong squad off the back of winning the league last season, so it's all set up for them to go and do it. Everybody wants them to do it, and like I said, they just go and they trust each other and give your absolute all, and then see where that takes you at the end of the game.
Can I ask specifically in terms of captaining aside, have you talked to Kelly, and what would your key bit of advice be to a captain going into a fixture like this? Yeah,
I've not had the chance to speak to her on one yet, but Kelly's a hugely experienced captain at this club as well, been here for many years. So I just think she'll know the right things to say. Obviously I'm on the other side of that as well with the men's team, and I'm always thinking about how I can get the best out of the players, and I'm sure she'll be doing the same. You go to sleep at night, there's things that pop into your head, and I can't wait to tell the boys that tomorrow. I'm sure she'll be the same. But yeah, she's a hugely experienced captain, and like I said, the game is all set up for them to go and give their all and get through, and I'm sure they will.
You've won over Falkirk at the weekend. The manager admitted afterwards he probably made too many changes, just disrupted the flow. Is this going to be the biggest challenge for this squad, going from the highs of Slovan, with no disrespect to Falkirk, keeping the drive and momentum no matter how many changes he makes in the squad?
Yeah, of course, that's always the challenge. I think when you
that's the challenge of any top team. You see any top team around Europe jumping from a Champions League squad, and then if we're going to a cup game right after that, I mean, how many teams down in England that play in the Champions League play pretty much a youth side when they go into cup football, and they're absolutely slated for the fact that they put in a weakened side. It's put in a weakened side, but the exertions of modern day football it's a bit more than it was in like the 80s and 70s and bygone eras where you're playing way more matches.
When you make so many changes, and I think it was important to get the guys into the team, to get them to feel the structure and the rhythm of the team. And yeah, like you said, when you make that many changes, it can disrupt it a little bit. I think obviously moving forward, the manager will pick the team, of course, but I don't envisage so many changes like that in the weeks to come. But the guys have done amazing. When they've come in, new guys settling in, the patterns and the repetitions there. It's just then about feeling that and settling in and feeling your way. But like you said there, it's just about the motivation for the players to continue to put performance after performance together, and if we do that, then hopefully we'll get many good results in this next period.
You'd mentioned going into the game of the Champions League about the readiness of the squad and how it was the most he'd felt being a Celtic manager. From your perspective of the squad as a whole, not just in Europe, where does this sit for you? Because it seems to be every box is more or less ticked in the running, and there's so many competitions to play in. How do you assess how good a shape this squad is in terms of the previous ones you've played in?
Yeah, really strong squad. I think the profile of the team is pretty much where we want it to be. You get good balance of speed and power and physicality and the right tactical stuff that you need as well. So it is a really balanced group. A lot of young players, good enough experience as well. So yeah, we've managed to build ourselves a strong squad, and I guess the sort of time will tell just how well we go on and do, but it certainly has all the good hallmarks of a good team, and it's now just about the players delivering that on the pitch.
Oh, Callum, he's teasing there, because you've got to remember that Callum was there when Brendan Rodgers was here the first time round, and Callum has lived and played through the Invincible season and continued success that Brendan Rodgers had first time round, and he obviously feels that we are on the verge. He says we've got the hallmarks there. He's not going to come out and say it. But he says you've got everything in place for having a real good chance of something special.
It's fair to say, sorry, but one more. I think it's fair to say the fans are raving about Arnie Engels and his impact so far. For you, are you surprised by how well he started, and just how good of a player do you think he is, and how good of a player can he be?
Yeah, surprised and not surprised, because I seen him on the first day and I thought, right, he's a player, he can play. But also surprising, and you have to still go and deliver when the game kicks off. And young player, experience for his age, but to come into a club this size and take 2 penalties in the first 2 games. He's looked a real powerhouse. He's looked good on the ball, so not surprised in that aspect. But for him to come in and hit the ground running the way he has done has been excellent, and obviously a real plus for the team as well.
I think a real plus for the team, because let's face it, we've went and bought players that are the exact same age as Arnie Engels in the past. We've brought in players at the exact same age as Arnie Engels, and they're not as good. They're way not as good, and they're prospect players, complete prospect players that you might be able to turn them into something. I mean, look at Matt O'Reilly. We bought him for 1.5 million, and we turned him into a 25 to 30 million pound player, and ultimately we're going to get 30 million pounds for Matt O'Reilly. We've brought in Arnie Engels for 11 million. With a massive 20% sell-on clause, massive percentage sell-on, and that Celtic are going to have to forgo. But then again, I think it was 30% with Jota, wasn't it? I'll probably be corrected in the comments, but it is a massive sell-on clause. And to think that we're spending that kind of money now, if Celtic can maintain spending that kind of money and bringing in that sort of prospect to Celtic, it bodes well for the future. And finally, after years and years and years of my mates that still go to games, and I see it on my Facebook, game day is a killer for me, because all it is people all over Scotland putting photos up of them getting ready to go to the pub, to go to the bus, to get the buses to the games. And it still hurts me to this day that I'm not there doing that. But they will finally see that Celtic have got ultimately rid of the biscuit tin mentality. And am I jumping the gun by saying that? I don't think so. I think that Brendan Rodgers has fully got his feet under the table, and he told them straight, look, the 9 players that you brought in 2 summers ago were absolute rank rotten. They were rank rotten. If you want us to do anything in the Champions League, and it has to be said, would we have got the result? And this is probably a question that should have been asked. Would we have got the result if we hadn't had the transfer window that we had this year? It's an interesting thought.
What was your role just in mediating when it came to the penalty? See that Hearts game when Rio wanted to take it? What was your chat?
It was probably not what you thought it was, actually, to be honest. I heard a wee rumour after that, but it wasn't that.
Get in there, Callum.
It was basically,
get them told.
They 2 were the penalty takers. Did one fancy it? Did the other one fancy it? Who fancied it? Right, okay, you take it. So that was it. Pretty cut and dry. I don't think it was anything too important for me to step in and deal with that. But Arna felt good, and thankfully he scored as well. So that was all it was.
That's all it was. And the media were like, oh, there was an argument on the pitch. Fucking Rio Hatate spat his dummy out. Fucking Rio Hatate wants to take out fucking Arnie Engels. It's fucking World War fucking 3. Nah, it wasn't it. It was fucking... That wasn't it. I've heard the rumours. You're talking shite.
It's been 8 competitive games so far for you this season, 8 wins. What do you think has been the catalyst for the successful start to the season, both in domestic competition? Sorry
to butt in there, but when you watch the video that Celtic put, is he sitting in the manager's seat? Is that seat not usually reserved for the manager, or am I just like, maybe it's just the seat that they're all given?
And against Bratislava?
I just think a real good sort of building block from the work that we did last year. We probably didn't get the performances for the amount of work that we were putting in and trying to build probably what it is you see now is a real free-flowing team that understands the rhythm of the game and how to change the rhythm of the game. You get really good speed on the side. Teams want to come and press you, you can go direct to them. So there was a lot of work done last season that probably went unnoticed a little bit, and we probably didn't get the rewards for, but there's been a real good 12 months of work now, and coupled by good recruitment in the summer. The profile of the team looks good, and then obviously the confidence of the team. When you start the season well, you score a few goals, then everything just sort of runs and gathers momentum from there. So probably a combination of all that.
With your opponents on Saturday, St Johnstone being managerless, was it more difficult this week to tactically prepare for the game because they might approach the game differently, or is it just prepare as normal?
Yeah, 2 sides to that. Obviously for us, we just try and focus on ourselves as much as we can. Of course we'll have a look at St Johnstone in terms of the way we think that they'll try and stop us from maybe looking at previous games. But the onus is more on us and what we can do and the little bits picking up from the weekend where we can get better. And then of course obviously the manager might come in and that might change the game plan for them, but as much as we can we look at ourselves and see how we can go and dominate the game.
Callum, we spoke to Brendan Rodgers a couple of weeks ago about Rodri's comments about kind of player workload. Obviously you retired for Scotland after the summer. Did that play a factor in your decision?
Para limpiar el suelo, nosotros siempre usábamos una fregona, hasta que descubrimos el nuevo billet d'atoll.
A little bit, but not so much. I think for footballers it's a difficult one because you work your whole life to get to this level, to play as many games as you play, represent your country, play major tournaments, play in the Champions League. So of course it's difficult to do. If it was easy, then everyone would be doing it. And
exactly.
It's the players have got to take some credit for getting to that level and the sacrifice that they do. Yeah. And then of course it's an entertainment business as well, where everybody wants to see it on the telly every 3 days, and then the players will then suffer from that side of it. But it's a really finely balanced issue, and for me, I think where I sit on it is, we've worked a whole life to get to this point, and at some point somebody will tap you on the shoulder and tell you that you're finished, and you won't have that problem again. So for me, I just want to continue to play as long as I can and keep enjoying my football.
And on that note, Callum, when you do hang up your boots, there's a nice wee seat here for you. nice we see here for you. You can come and join me anytime. I'd love to have an absolute cracking chat when he does finally hang up his boots and talk to Callum about his whole journey, because I lived through it. I can remember being there at his first first pre-season, and I just think it's been one hell of a journey. And he's right, it's an entertainment business, just like YouTube. It's an entertainment platform, and anybody that thinks any less needs to fucking have a good fucking look at themselves.
Rodri, I think, talked about the players going on strike. Is that kind of something you can envision? What do you think of those comments?
No.
Listen, I don't know, but again, I find it would be pretty difficult to do. But again, I'm not Rodri, so you might need to ask him.
On a personal level, Callum, how did you find sitting out the last Scotland meet? I know it was your decision not to continue, but was it a bit strange not being involved?
Who gives a fuck? Let's talk about fucking St Johnstone. You absolutely reprobates. Honest to God, man, what is it with the Scottish media talking about something that is absolutely nothing to do with Callum McGregor, nothing to do with Celtic, and then trying to make stories out of it to grab headlines? Fucking journals, all the same. Anyway, that's the one and only Callum McGregor talking. I'll just make sure that I've got all the volumes back down. That is the one and only Callum McGregor talking about lots of things. But yeah, it was nice to see. It was nice to see Callum McGregor saying that there was nothing in the whole debacle that the media made out when it come to the penalty against Hearts, when Rio Hatate had the ball and Cal Mack went, nah, I think the young lads want to take it. It's like, Rio, give him the fucking ball. Young lads want to take it. He's full of confidence. He's just walked in the door. And Rio's like, right then, have it. Anyway, that was it. That was one and only Callum McGregor talking about the women's football, and not really talking about the game this weekend, which that's what the interview was meant to be about. It was meant to be about him previewing the St Johnstone game, but there was very, very little conversation in the first 8 minutes of the video of him talking about Celtic. There was after that, but it's been going on for that long. I really can't be bothered. I mean, it's all about. This is why I love Brendan Rodgers at Celtic. This is why I love Brendan Rodgers when he sits in that chair, because he takes control of the narrative. And as a player, Callum McGregor is thrust into the limelight, and he doesn't know what questions are coming. It's not like PMQs where they fucking send the questions in. The questions get vetted by Celtic beforehand, and they know roughly what people are going to ask. But that doesn't go through to Callum McGregor. But Callum McGregor's not got the experience to bat away questions, and especially ones like fucking Rodri's wanting players to go on strike. Could you envisage that? What the fuck is that today, Wes? Let's get back. What's that? Brendan Rodgers at that point would go, maybe ask the St Johnstone manager. Oh, wait a minute, they've not got one. That's right, let's talk about the game this weekend. Honest to God, man. Really? 12 St Johnstone fans. Right, let's jump back into the comment section before I go through some more news. Obviously, Callum McGregor has dismissed the dressing room bust up, then saying that there wasn't a bust up. He was talking about the 5-1 win over Bratislava and how the team underperformed against the one and only Falkirk the first half of the game, and are the players finding it hard from jumping from one competition to the next and having such a vast number of squad rotating. Look, it's a non-story if you ask me. This was all done and dusted after the Falkirk game. The media at that press conference missed a golden opportunity to ask some really telling questions. Instead, they bring up about the penalty for the Hearts game. They spoke briefly about the fact that the players struggled against Falkirk. But you know, it's like, ask fucking different questions. the manager, Brendan Rodgers, stuck his hand up after the Falkirk game and said, it's my fault. I made too many changes. End of story. End of story. That's it. Move on. Brendan Rodgers admitted he made the mistake. Other players have come out and said that they're not match fit. Other players have come out on Instagram and said that I wasn't good enough. I want to do better, and I'm going to move forward. I'll try and do better. That was slated, and then we get to, it was meant to be St Johnstone versus Celtic preview, and there was very, very little of the whole interview previewing the game. Anyway, we move on. We leave the meltdowns to the other side of the country. One interesting piece of news that we're talking about last night, and talking about Celtic captains, and we spoke about it briefly this morning, because it turned out this morning Scott Brown was interested in talking to St Johnstone, and it turns out this evening that Scott Brown is pulled out the running. He's went, nah, you're alright, mate. Fuck that shit. You're a shambles. You're a pure shambles, man. Brownie doesn't talk like that because he's a fifer. Brownie's set to stay at Ayr United despite rumours him leaving to go to McDermott Park and face Celtic this weekend. It would have made for a fantastic headline if Brownie did manage to get that job. But I did say last night, Brownie's got a massive position that he's in just now. And we were right. And I called it kind of right. With all the headlines this morning saying that Brownie was on the verge of taking the St Johnstone job, and then it comes to the evening and he's out of the race to become the next St manager's job, according to Stephen McGowan. That's what we expected. Let's be honest, that's what we all expected, because Scott Brown has an absolutely fantastic chance to get a club like Ayr United promoted into the SPFL. That would be such a bigger thing on his CV. That would be such a bigger thing on his CV than just going to a team like St Johnstone that are going to sit mid-table, that are going to just invest enough to keep the stadium where it is, to keep the Wolves at bay, to maybe buy in a few players or so. But they're not interested in one trying to get into the top four. Let's be honest, they don't have ambitions to get into the top four and try and break any kind of dominance of the hierarchy of Scottish football. And their other objective is to not get relegated, and that's not a big pull for somebody like Scott Brown. So I'm glad that he's dismissed the job completely, because I think that if he was to get Ayr United, if Scott was to get Ayr United into the SPFL, he could be up there fighting with St Mirren, and he could be in that position that St Mirren are in, trying not to get relegated. They know that they're going to be top 4, top 5. Maybe on a good year you might get to top 6, but they know with the finances that they have that they're never going to get to that mighty position. The camera's sitting a bit squint, I've just noticed. But anyway, it's good that he is not moving. So that's one bit of good news. And then it was all about Callum McGregor, and we've spoke about that. Just a little reminder, not that we need it, but we are on 19,033 subscribers. We are trying to get to the big 20,000 subscribers, because there's a lot of Celtic channels out there chasing after us, trying to catch up. And to be fair, I'm trying to catch up with 2 or 3 other channels. I think it's 3 other channels that are currently out and a limb away in front, but let's say that they've got bigger social media and they concentrate on other social media platforms. And one of them's been around for donkey's years, so hats off to Ryan118, because he's been around for absolutely ages. And it's always good to come up with a format that others copy. There's only one pole, and there's no end goals anymore. Up the holy goalie. Anyway, no, that wasn't the big news. The big news, obviously, is we need a little reminder to any Sevconian friends that may be watching the video this evening, because as it stands, Celtic are still currently second, and I'm going to milk this. I am going to milk this for as long as we can. Celtic are still second in the Champions League. Yes, that is the current Champions League, the big league the big one, the big in, the big cup. Call it what you want. We're second, and we're still second. You've got Lazio. Lazio are currently beating Dynamo Kiev. 3-0. Lazio are winning that. Sparta Prague are beating a team. Midtjylland are winning. Manchester United are winning also. Christian Eriksen has just scored on the 35th minute in that game. But it doesn't matter, because this is where it matters. The big league. I am going to milk this for as long as Celtic are second in this league. I am going to milk it, because it's a fantastic achievement. It is a fantastic achievement. And tomorrow night, the Sons of Truth. I can't do it because I've got a full set of teeth. I'm going to get slated again. But anyway, that is the good news. Let's jump back into the comment section, because we've been on the go for 45 minutes, and I'm going to leave the Champions League thing up there, wherever it is. Gers have never beaten Malmo. Who cares? I don't think they will tomorrow either. Let me just jump back some of the comments and see what people are saying in the comment section. Oh dear, I'm not going to go through the comments. Makes me laugh. It does make me laugh. Yeah, I'll miss out the comment section for the moment. When was the last time Ayr United were in the top flight? Says Chilpill. Ayr United were last in when it was Ayr United. Because remember, did they not go bust? And they went for Ayr United to no, they didn't, wasn't it? It wasn't Ayr. Who was the ones that went bust and then fucking moved? I can't remember. When was the last time Ayr United were in the top club flight? Long time ago. Maybe the 80s. I'd say the 80s. The 80s. So if Scott Brown does get them in, it'll be an absolute... Big up Martin Jock Johnson from the Coventry Emerald CSC. One of the fantastic buses out there. One of the fantastic buses that used to come along, as well as the 313 for Liverpool that is under the demise. And Coventry bus, that was the one that Bez used to get on, wasn't it? Or did he get on the 313 bus? Can't remember. But no, there's still a good few guys on my Facebook that used to go on the Coventry bus back in the day, all around the world. And you've got to, hats off to folk like Martin that goes to games for Coventry, because they're leaving, and a big shout out to all the buses that leave way damn early for further afield, and I mean the ones for down south, the ones for up Aberdeen, the ones for Peterhead, the ones for up further north, and the folk that get up all around the world to watch Celtic at crazy times, because you are the true Celtic fans. But the guys that go to games, they pay shitloads amount of money, because if they sometimes stay over and they've got the hotel costs, and I've spoke about this before, and people that just rock up for Glasgow and roundabouts and maybe get a bus for Fife or for Falkirk, they get up to Celtic Park for a 3 o'clock kickoff, and hats off to them. Something just happened with the internet. Right, let's jump back into the comments. Malmo posted a video reminding the Huns that they went bust. They did not. Can you go through the comments, Baz? Just to read some out. I'm going to Lorna. I'm going to go through some of them now. I missed some of them because they were talking about other channels. Mini Maestro says that was Ergionians and Clydebank merging to go bust at the death of the two clubs in Scottish football. That's right. That was Ergionians. That's where I got mixed up. It was Ayr United. It was Ergionians and Clydebank merging. Yeah, back in the day. I'd love to do a really good video on the other channel, but it just wouldn't get the views, talking about Scottish football and talking about the reality of playing each other 12 times a year, and now the fact that we've done it for so long. And is there really a need for 4 leagues in Scotland in the modern day? In modern day football, I mean, it used to be the case that East Fife could finish bottom of the league in the lowest league in Scotland every year, and nothing happened. I don't know, it was East Stirlingshire or something, wasn't it? It was East Stirlingshire, it wasn't East Fife, it was East Stirlingshire. And it's just like, this fucking... And they made slight changes, but I just think that the league, the way it is done and dusted. Anyway, Carly says the comments are class. Clydebank, then fucking into something else, Baz. Clydebank, I just... I don't want to talk about Clydebank. Malmo fan on a pod said 80% of Sweden fans are Celtic because of Larsson. I don't think that 80% of Sweden fans are Celtic fans, because I drank in a Swedish pub in Torrevieja when we stayed there, and they weren't really Celtic fans, so that's a lie for starters. There was some so-called ultra. They were big guys, fair enough. They were big, huge guys. You wouldn't mess with them, but they classed themselves as ultras for some teams in Sweden. And I was like, so what, mate? I'm not really into that. I live in Spain. Do you know what I mean? You're here on holiday. Shut the fuck up. Big man. Anyway, Chilpel says, sorry, Joffers, if I didn't realise. His roots, mate, for fuck's sake. Phone stupid with all the keyboards. What? Comments are class, says Carly. Carly says it wasn't a joke. Rapsy Baz says, you should have a Scottish football pod with a fan over. Not a chance. With a fan over the side of the city. Not a chance. Ryan118 does that. That's what killed his channel. Ryan118 does a podcast with a Rangers guy. I would never do that. Never. Not a chance would I do a podcast with a Rangers channel. Not a fucking chance. No way. Ever. Fucking take this and make it into a shot. Fucking nada. We are not the same entity. It's fucking ridiculous. Two small clubs like Partick and Sevco don't merge. Exactly. I mean, Partick Thistle have got this fantastic history and a fantastic fucking fan base in that end of Glasgow, and they're overshadowed by this sectarian mob that they could completely engulf if they wanted to, and then just take over to Partick, and they should merge. Just join teams. They might fill their stadiums. Anyway. Well said, Baz, says Wilson Q. Exactly. Fucking doing a podcast with a hun. Fuck off. You fucking mad. Who said that anyway? Who fucking said that? Oh my god. So get up as much as we used to. Anytime we got up, we stay with my Uncle Jimmy and Kings Parks and have a Guinness at the Beechwoods, says Martin. Is there still the Coventry bus? Because remember, it used to be the 313 and the Coventry bus they were merged at one point, and they used to come up together. And then the 313 fucked up, and the Liverpool bus completely fucked up altogether. But anyway, and Kaiser's laughing. Minnie Maestro says Bankies deserve better. They have great attendance, and a lot of Scottish clubs have gone bust over the years. This is why we need a bigger league. We don't need fucking 4 leagues of 12. What's the fucking point? Just make it 2 leagues. And Scottish football will be better for it. Do you know what? I think so anyway. Either at every game. That's good. That's good that they're still going to every game. Fantastic. Hail, Baz. Don't even acknowledge the zombies. I don't. Fucking imagine saying fucking do a Scottish podcast with a hun. They're fucking trying to kill my reputation altogether. I couldn't. Listen, see when my dad stayed in Tenerife for 14 years, and he tried to make me go into the Ibrox bar once, and he tried to make me go in the side door, only because he knew the guy who owned it, and he went in to speak to him about some work, and my dad was like, I'm going into this pub, and I was like, where are we going, like? And he fucking went in the side door, and I opened the door, and I went, whoa, fuck that, and he's like, just come in, and I was like, no chance. Not a chance that. I cannot step over the threshold into the Ibrox bar. Not a fucking chance. And my dad was pissed himself laughing. My dad was fucking rolling about. And he was like, right, I'll get you in 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm going to the fucking hoops bar. Fuck this pish. Not a chance. You would be melted, Baz. That's fucking melted. Hibs are pish. Huns play the Hibbies on Sunday. Who cares? If Partick Sevco merge, Sevco could claim Partick's history. Nah. Anyway, Minnie Meisha says that Bachelors, Hibs are balls. Who cares? Oh, there's the Celtic head coach. I turned this up. Got a nice wee smile, eh? Yeah, there we go. There's Elena. There's Elena just on Sky Sports. Big up the Celtic women team. Come on, the Hoop Bessies. The Hoop Bessies, what do you call them? The Hoops. Anyway, right, not letting any of my Hibs fans give it a chance because of our standard situation. Kaiser Lorna says, I'm barred from the Loudon. Why would you want to go into the Loudon? Oh dear. Anyway, we've been on for 55 minutes. There's only been 1,171 people on the live tonight. It's a bit lower than yesterday. Yesterday we had over 2,000 on the live. There's been only 100 thumbs up. We didn't even do a poll tonight. And nobody even asked. It's probably better not doing a poll every night anyway, because people just copy you. Neil Lennon, let's update Neil Lennon's page. There has been another donation to Neil Lennon's page. He now has £7,468, which is absolutely. Somebody 28 minutes ago announced himself as a 1CFV subscriber, a One Celtic Fans View subscriber, or a best, and put in £20. I love seeing these comments, and I hope that Lenny loves them also. And I'm going to keep on cracking on to this until they do the walk. It is the middle of October. It's during the international break. And as it currently stands, he's sitting at £7,467.09. And I was actually, I've not told the wife, but I was looking at flights up to Santiago to maybe try and get an interview with Lenny at the end of the walk. But it's on a Sunday, and the missus is working. And I'm not sure, I know that there's 3 flights a day up and down, but we'll wait and see. I gave you a poll, Baz. Kaiser, I never even seen it in my hoops, Baz. No idea what we're talking about. Joseph says, hail, chill pill, I'm okay, never saw anything. What he's even talking about, shouldn't read the comments. Anyway, on that note, we'll just put up Neil Lennon's post one more time for anyone that's maybe late on, just to do my little bit for Lenny. On that note, we are sitting on second in the Champions League. That's the telly. How the fuck have I got a pink background, but the telly's just changed. We are sitting second in the Champions League. We just need to give the little Huns a reminder. Let's make sure that we post it all over our social media tomorrow to let them know that currently we are second in the Champions League, and let's see where they finish up in the Europa. We are sitting on 19,034 subscribers. It's went up fantastically. It just keeps on going up every single day, which is brilliant. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the channel. I adore every single one of you, and I love the fact that you are all so engaged with the channel. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you're watching.